Welcome back folks, and welcome back to a new video. So today we're gonna be taking a look at CD Projekt Q1 of 2024 financial report, where they talked more about how their company is doing in the past 3 months, what they're working on right now, and what are their plans for the future. So first things first, we're gonna be going with the first initial details they've shared during the presentation before we move on to Q&A. And the first thing that we have learned is that currently in CD Projekt they have 400 people working on Polaris, which is the first Witcher game of the new trilogy. As we can see right here, by April 30th we have 407 people involved in the Polaris project. And another thing which probably caught your eye is that currently, as of April 30th, the Cyberpunk 2077 team has officially been concluded. So what this means is that, well, the development of Cyberpunk 2077 is pretty much done. Now, of course, as they have revealed in the Q&A, they said that from time to time they're gonna be maintaining the game, fixing some of the stuff, so it wouldn't be a surprise if we do see a patch or two with some of the fixes, but when it comes to anything big, as expected, that has been basically done. And it honestly feels surreal that after all of these years, the company is not now actively working on Cyberpunk 2077. It has definitely been something ever since the release, and then, them going and fixing the entire game, reimagining it in, Cyberpunk 2.0 and with the first Phantom Liberty expansion. And right now, the biggest focus of the company is, of course, on The Witcher, which is quite nice. I mean, even though Cyberpunk is pretty much done, as it says, when something ends, something begins, which in this case is finally going to be Witcher. Another thing we can see is that the Orion project is now becoming bigger and bigger. We have 56 people involved in the new Cyberpunk game. Also, Sirius, which is the Witcher spin-off game made by the Molasses Flood, is getting more and more developers in it. As you can see, 2 more people got involved in the project, which is quite nice. Honestly, I'm looking forward to all of these projects, but I'm very interested in 2 things. First off, how is this spin-off going to work and what is it actually going to be? Because they said long time ago that they want the Sirius project to be somewhat for broader audiences and in The Witcher, so it might be some crafting survival stuff. It might be something else entirely, but we shall see when officially, this, gets announced. Project Hadar so far, which is their new IP, the in-house IP that they're working on, which we have no info about whatsoever. What is it going to be? Where is it going to be set? And etc, etc. So far has 20 people working on it, which is expected because keep in mind that these projects like Orion, Sirius and Hadar are pretty much now in the research, somewhat pre-production stage, but all of that is very early for that. And of course, for the end, we have 96 people working or being involved in shared services and 13 people in some other projects, which makes about 630 developers working in CD Projekt Red so far. Also great news when it comes to Project Polaris. By the second half of the year, they're planning to move into actual full production. So yes, The Witcher is finally going to leave pre-production and it's going to start full production. And maybe by then we get some CGI teaser trailer like basically they did before. But one of the things that they said in Q&A is that what they did for The Witcher and what they did for Cyberpunk 2077 when it comes to promotional stuff or marketing in general is not going to be the same for The Witcher and their other games. So which is expected because once you go through a certain marketing mix and a certain marketing campaign, you're going to rethink that for your next project to see, okay, what mistakes have we made during this and what good things we have done when it comes to marketing our games. One of the things I do hope they don't do for the next Witcher game or new Cyberpunk game is that they never release a teaser trailer or the trailer that they've released for Cyberpunk, which was with Jackie, and we learned about what's gonna be happening in the story even before the game came out, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. But again, overall, even when it comes to The Witcher itself, I do not expect anything until 2026, and that's being optimistic in that sense. Again, when it comes to 2025, I doubt they're gonna be releasing anything for that year, which is kinda expected because next year we're getting GTA 6, and no one, absolutely no one does not want to release close or next to that game. Now also they talked about receiving the BAFTA Award for the evolving game category for Cyberpunk 2077, which is quite nice. I mean, winning BAFTA is a very big thing, especially for a company like this, and I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to utilize this a lot in the future when it comes to their funding and when it comes to their next games, which is something they've already started mentioning in their Q&As, which is totally expected. But it's actually a very nice thing to receive BAFTA, you know, these days when you have a game like that and you have these new categories popping off. In general, having these things is going to be a big plus for the game, because trust me, when it comes to investor side, they're all gonna be looking at it for the future. Also, when it comes to sales and Cyberpunk so far, they are very happy what Cyberpunk has been doing for the past 3 months, and they're happy with how the community overall is reacting to the game and overall to their company, because they actually got 95% positive reviews on Steam in the past 30 days, or well, they crossed that 30-day threshold, which is actually overwhelmingly positive, which is something that has happened for the first time when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077. Also, consolidated revenues for the first 3 months of the year reached 227 million zloty, which is around $58 million. And the largest contribution to that were the sales of Cyberpunk base game along with its expansion Phantom Liberty, which is somewhat expected because they bundled the two together into a complete edition. That was the main driver for the sales in the first quarter of 2024. Now also, when it comes to some other numbers, CD Projekt Q1 net profit was 100 million zloty, which was around $25 million, and they saw a 44% increase in the net profit than, you know, compared to the year before. And they do have a positive operational cash flow in the first 3 months, which is 181 million zloty, or well, around $46 million US. So overall, in layman's terms, the company is doing pretty good so far, and when it comes to money for their upcoming games, they're pretty much liquid, so they do have enough to, you know, work on all of these projects together and at the same time focus on every single one of them. Now, of course, the focus on different projects is going to be different compared to the stage that it is right now. I mean, the biggest focus right now is, of course, going to be The Witcher, and that's going to be for a long time. But if we take a look at the graph again, as we're getting closer to other projects as well, you're obviously going to see the increase of devs in those teams as well. Now, they also held a Q&A with their investors where they talked about various things. A lot of that was actually for, you know, business-related stuff, money-related stuff, but there has been some question regarding the upcoming Witcher game and using Unreal Engine 5 as the game engine. Basically, investors asked what's happening with that and if the transition is smooth or not. And Mikhail Novakovsky actually responded saying that they're very happy so far with how Unreal Engine 5 is working for them and the actual switch that they have. Obviously, they're also going to be bringing some of the tech from Red Engine into Unreal Engine 5, which is quite nice. And also, even today, they're still making some of the tools and different stuff within the engine because they want to support their game in that way. And they would be making those solutions regardless of if they're working on Unreal Engine 5 or if they're using their old Red Engine, which is quite normal. And for some solutions, they're actually working together with the Unreal or, well, Epic Games engineers, and for some they're going to be developing on their own. Now, also they were asked about layoffs and if they're gonna be happening, what's the state of the industry, and if that's going to actually hurt the game when it releases, well, specifically the new Witcher game. And so far, also Mikhail Novakovsky said that they're happy with the amount of people that are working in the company, but you know how it is, you're always going to give this a little bit of a vague answer because you don't know, you simply cannot know that 6 months, 1 year, 2 years from now, you're going to have layoffs or not. So they're pretty reserved in that sense, but when it comes to companies so far, they're pretty okay with the amount of people they have working on it. And I do believe that they do have some open positions for their upcoming projects, which is very nice because today, well, obviously we live in an industry, or well, the industry is going through a bit of a cleanse in that sense, with a lot of developers sadly losing their jobs, you know, game companies shutting down, whole teams shutting down, and people who are also seniors in the industry have lost their jobs. So it's not looking good in that sense, but hopefully it stays as it is right now for CD Projekt and they don't have any more layoffs, but obviously we shall see. They were also asked later on if they, plan any other features or expansions for Cyberpunk 2077, where they reconfirmed again that no, when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077, they're pretty much done with all of the big updates, feature updates or expansions, but they are going to be maintaining the game. Now, if you go to SteamDB, if you go to Depot, after 2 months of nothing, there is a new CDPR internal QA, which almost always signals a new patch or an update. Now again, with this we cannot know how big the update is going to be. Is it going to have FSR 3? Is it going to just be some random technical stuff which is not related to anything else so far? I mean, something is coming, but we shall see how big and what, features this update or patch is going to have. So for everyone who is modding the game, just keep in mind, well, they're still not done with updates and there's gonna be more. Also, when asked about, again, marketing campaign for the new Polaris game, they talked about, releasing a teaser trailer for Cyberpunk like 8 years before the game came out. Now, they're not gonna be doing that, but they have confirmed that they might be doing something even before the actual marketing campaign starts, which can include, teaser trailers, some images and so on. So, of course, as we're moving forward with the new Witcher game, I'm pretty sure once they have something ready in that sense, we're going to see what it is, because I think all of us are very much interested to see what the new Witcher game is going to be, especially now that the story of Geralt of Rivia is done. So I think they have a very difficult task ahead of them, because whenever you have a game which doesn't have, its main protagonist in that sense, I mean, if you look at God of War, if you look at whatever, Tomb Raider, The Witcher, it's not easy to change a main protagonist and to maintain the power of that story and connection to the story that people have. So I'm honestly very interested to see what they do. So is it either going to be a predefined character like before? Is it going to be create your own Witcher kind of a stuff? Tough to know. And also for the end, they were asked about Witcher Red Kit and if there is actually any monetization strategy there. Honestly, I'm very happy with Mikhail Novakovsky, and what he said is that, well, Red Kit was released for the people, so they're not planning to monetize Red Kit in any sort of way. And that's good, because if you're doing a company these days, you just have to provide some value towards a community, which is just going to be that, free. Because at the end of the day, people are going to reward you with, number one, their creativity, mods that they make, and ultimately the community itself is going to be stronger. I believe a lot of investors these days do not understand how communities work, and that you cannot really monetize every single aspect of your company or every single aspect of your service or product and expect, the community to doesn't, strike back. So whenever you provide something which is free, whenever you provide something which is for the community, they are going to be very happy about it, and they're going to repay you in one way or another. It's simple as that. So far I'm very happy that they're not planning on it, although they have been a little bit vague when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077 Red Kit, which would also be quite amazing, but we shall see if that's ever going to happen. Honestly, having something as powerful as the Witcher Red Kit would have been amazing. And for the end, there was a question, could you confirm or deny the internet rumor regarding Polaris trailer that is supposed to be released this June, or well, in June this year, and is supposed to be prepared by Platige Image, which was also working on previous, Witcher CGI trailers. And they said, we don't comment on speculations, whatever regarding timing or who's working or not working on any possible teasers or trailers, so that I don't have any specific comment there. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they do release like a teaser trailer, a CGI one by the end of the year, but at the same time, it's pretty much impossible to know. I did, hear about these reports, but until it's out, it's kinda tough to know. And this is pretty much everything that we have for today. So far it seems that the company is doing quite well, especially when they were asked about, quite politely, if they want to be acquired, and so far the answer is that they want to stay independent because they can focus on their strategy, especially when it comes to the business side as well as the gaming side, the best that way, without someone interfering in their projects. But of course, they have said in the future, maybe, you don't know, because yes, that's the truth. You don't know if in 10, 20, 30 years a company is going to close? Is it going to be bigger? Is it going to be acquired? It is extremely tough to know because no company is safe from closing down, expanding, or being acquired. It's just how it is in business. So thank you for watching this video, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, drop them down below. Of course, I will leave you links to the transcript, to the actual presentation, and the call down below in the description, so you can hear it or read it for yourself as well. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button for more. Also tell me down below in the comments what do you think about all of this. Also check us out on Twitter and Discord, and huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. This is LKM signing out. Stay classy everyone, and we'll see you next time with a new video. Bye bye.